forward to the sun, and with the beautiful weather coming this weekend, a lot of folks will be working in their gardens. I visited A Bloom Garden Center before the COVID-19 pandemic hit us to see what they have to offer. We are teaching you proper planting techniques here at A Bloom Garden Center. We're with the owner, Tony Seymour, and we're talking about planting some plants and some trees and how it works, right?
That's exactly what we're going to attempt to do, and that's basically the technique or proper and wrong way to install a plant, whether it's a tree plant or a seasonal type plant.
Yeah, so today we're going to kind of pretend that this is the ground, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got some soil in there already. Now what are we going to do first? What's the first step?
What we're doing is this is going to represent our ground, if you will, guys. We'll have to use our imagination. We're going out in our yard and we're getting ready to dig a hole.
Right.
Okay? In this case, I won't need a shovel because we filled up the wheelbarrow. I'm simply going to prep an area for any shrub. We're going to dig our hole, which normally I would be using a shovel.
But the hands work fine too.
We're going to push this dirt to the side that we dig out of the hole. The biggest mistake that most people make in planting, whether it's a tree or a shrub, is they're going to plant the shrub too deep. No dirt will ever go on the top of this ball. Ideally, when we install and cover this plant, the hole does not need to be any deeper than what the root ball is. And when we have finished preparing and covered this plant up, that plant will actually be sticking out of the ground 1 inch. The dirt will only come up this high on it.
So keep that in mind. That's some good information there.
It's all about air circulation, water circulation, area that's easy for roots to grow through. We plant them too deep, we've started off on the wrong foot. If we can make it happy underground, it's going to be great above ground. So we've got it dug down to the same depth as the root ball. I love ground bark, fine ground bark.
So does that help the plant grow? Is it got some nutrients in there, or is it more so for looks?
It's actually what we're talking about as far as making the soil a little more airy, if you will, so the roots and that oxygen can get down through there, and this is going to decompose and rot away, and of course be fertilization or nitrogen further down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to mix that with the soil that we dug up. Composted manure is going to add some other organic matter into the soil that we need. We're going to cover that plant up, pack it down as you go, and you can see with our finished product, and people on landscape jobs say, Tony, you only worked a little bit. You left the plant sticking out of the ground. That's on purpose. It'll be very happy that way. By the time you mulch it with pine straw, etc., you'll never know it's above ground, and it'll be much happier.
So it's so easy. Now, if they need any, like, I want to say ingredients, but anything they need for planting, whether that's the manure, the mulch, the bark, the plant, they know where to go. It's where to see
Come see us at A Bloom. We do have it in bulk as well as in bag material. So come see us. We'll be happy to supply you with those. I've got one other preparation for seasonal plants. So we'll start with our dirt again. Ideally, we'll take this fine ground bark, which is wonderful. If you plant your seasonal plants, the ones that bloom every day, if you'll plant them 2 inches above the soil by adding this simple fine ground pine bark, just turn it over into the soil ever so slightly. It makes it easier for you to plant. The seasonal is going to drain so much better. They love being elevated like that. Fertilization, they're going to be happy the entire season long, as opposed to planting them in the flat ground with nothing.
Yeah, so are we going to work on one of these?
Here we go.
Alrighty, and this one's beautiful, a nice little yellow plant.
Million bells here, but any of this seasonal is the same way. Add you 2 inches of this ground fine bark to the top of the ground. Ever so slightly dig it in. It's so much easier than digging in dirt. But those feet of that plant, the bottom of the root ball, are barely going to be touching the natural earth that you just basically covered up. That's going to decompose and all, work out to be a fabulous planting bed for next year also.
So keep that in mind. You make it look so easy. The team here at A Bloom is incredible, y'all. They know so much. So come with questions if you have any. If you want to go ahead and start your garden, this is the place to be. Now, to make it easy and convenient, you can shop online at abloomgardencenter.com. And remember, orders over $100 or more get free delivery within 7 miles of their store. see you next time. But remember, like them on Facebook. Make sure you go visit them off of Old Shell Road.